Hi, welcome back to the CHRONO TALK channel. In this video, I will talk about how to set the calendar on a watch that doesn't have the quick set feature. Stay tuned. Okay, so the very common question here is not exactly how to set the calendar, but because probably you know that the way to set watches that doesn't have the quick set feature, which is the quick set is that feature that allows you to adjust the calendar by a stage on the crown, which means that you pull the crown to a certain stage, usually is right the first stage after the crown totally push against the case, and some rare movements. And as far as I remember, the Zenith El Primero is exactly different than anybody else, which means that the quick set uh, stage is actually the last stage, which is the second stage when you pull the crown completely out of the case. But this is it's the only case I can remember. Usually, the stage to quick set the calendar is right the first stage on the crown, okay, which is the stage before the next stage, which is the stage to set the hands. But in case your watch doesn't have this feature, and this is particularly common in older watches, like vintage watches, the usually the right way to set the calendar is simply making the hands going forward through midnight and then retroceding the hands. I don't know if this is exactly the right word in English, but making the hands going back again to around 9 o'clock and then back again through midnight, and then the calendar jumps again. This is usually the correct way, and the common question is, does it hurt the movement? And the answer is absolutely not. Actually, it is designed to do this. Okay. The exception is that there are certain movements that instead of doing this, what they actually do is that if you go forward through midnight, it will jump one day, and then if you go back through midnight again, it will retrocede one day. So in these cases, there is no other option other than making the hands go forward or backwards, the number of days you have to adjust. So if you have to go forward 10 days, you have to make the hands go round and round and round through midnight until it jumps 10 days, or making the same thing backwards. And this is totally safe to do, okay? The only exception that I would make is that I am assuming that you have a watch in perfectly working order, all right? Because every watch is designed to allow you to make the hands go backwards. Okay, there is absolutely no problem on doing this, except if your watch is not in good condition, because the mechanism that I will discuss this on a special video explaining exactly what is the cannon pinion and what it does to slide over the gears to allow you to set the calendar or set the hands without interfering on the normal direction of the movement. Okay, it is designed to do that, but it depends on lubrication. So the condition of the lubrication is very important, because if the lubrication is not good, when you make the hands going backwards, you are making a back pressure on the entire gears of the train, the gear train of the movement, this can be bad. But also, if the lubrication is not good, making the hands go forward, it's also problematic. Okay, it's not a good idea. So I am assuming that you have a watch in perfectly good working order. And if this is the case, then it's perfectly safe to make the hands go back and forth. Absolutely no problem about it. Okay, so I assuming that I am answering two questions at the same time. Okay, so now you're seeing a video of how I adjust the calendar on a watch that doesn't have the quickset. Okay, this watch is a Seiko, and it doesn't have the quickset. If you see, if I just go past midnight, it jumps to the next day. But if I go back just a little bit, like 1 hour, nothing happens. So I have to really go back to 9 p.m. to make it engage again and then jump again. Now, in another video, I will show you exactly what is happening behind the dial, okay, what is happening on the mechanism. As you see, this big wheel with brass color is the calendar wheel, and the black part of the wheel is the calendar finger, which in this case is not the same movement. Okay, it's a different movement, but it's just to show you clearly how it works. This black part is a finger. In this case, it is made of polymer, basically a plastic, if you will. So it's flexible, it's completely flexible. In older watches, which is probably the case of this Seiko I just showed you, it's probably a metal finger attached to a spring that allows the finger to go back and forth without forcing it. Okay, but in this case, as you see, exactly what happens is that the finger can drive the calendar disc, and if you turn it backwards, it just flex it a little bit without driving the calendar disc backwards. Also, you will notice that the calendar disc teeth is designed in a way that it allows the finger to jump over it, and so it only drives in one direction, and in the other direction everything slips and flex a little bit, and that's it. So as you can see, it's very simple and without any risk of damaging, because that that's the way it's supposed to work. Okay, and that's it, simple as that. I hope you like it. I hope you learn something new on this video, and if you like it, don't forget to click on subscribe if you already didn't, and tell your friends, your collector colleagues and enthusiasts to join the channel. Left me your thumbs up and keep following.